Hi there, welcome to edition 10 of Build to Scale. This is a show for trades businesses and construction businesses to help them grow and scale and get off the tools and grow an asset of their business. So each week we cover a different topic. And this week I'm going to cover something that actually came up in conversation earlier on this week when I was chatting to a plumbing and heating business owner who wanted to start his marketing because things had got a bit quiet. Leads had dried up a bit. Visits to his website had dried up. So he wanted to start marketing. And I said, well, why didn't you start marketing a few months ago? And he said, well, because I was really busy. And that is a very typical conversation I have with a lot of trade business owners where they only start marketing when things go quiet. And by the time you've noticed that it's gone quiet, uh, you're running it late because it takes time. It takes time to switch the marketing back on and get everything optimized. So in this week's episode, we're going to go through a few things that you should be doing consistently so that you just don't go quiet. So you've got this even amount of business. And actually, if you get things right, and with a lot of the channels that I'm going to sort of talk to you about today, marketing channels, you can turn them up and down. So if you get busy, you can turn them down. And if you go quiet, you can turn them up. But this is a real problem. So only marketing when the business is slow. And you're not alone because a lot of businesses are like that. They only start marketing when things go quiet. So you end up in this cycle here. So you end up in this stop-start trap. So you're really busy, you're on the tools, so you stop any sort of marketing efforts. Things go quiet, panic sets in, and you start sometimes throwing mud at the wall to try and kick things off. And it's never a good time to start marketing when business is slow because you don't tend to make the right calls and the right decisions. You tend to panic, so you just start doing stuff, and doing stuff is just a very quick way to burning through a lot of cash and not actually achieving the goals that you set out. So we're going to have a look at a few different channels that I think you should be paying attention to week in, week out in your business. So let's run through a few of those, and let's just talk about how you can't just suddenly switch your marketing on and it just starts bringing in leads from day one. So let's have a look at Google Ads first. So Google Ads will typically take about 1 to 2 months, 4 to 8 weeks to get optimized properly. So it's not a case of just switching on Google Ads and off the bat, they will start bringing in highly qualified, good quality leads. It will take time. And the reason for that is simple, really. Google is like an auction, and lots of businesses enter the auction at different times. Some will start advertising, some will be there for a lot longer, some will be there all the time. And what happens is when you start advertising on Google, Google paid ads, that is, Google needs time to understand about your business, understand what is a good click. It needs to understand your website. It needs to understand the types of clicks that are converting into leads. And that all takes data. And if you enter Google Ads with only a few £100 budget, that's going to take a lot longer. What I normally advise to most of my clients that are typically doing 250,000 or more, if they want to start on Google Ads, I would say, you need to start with a budget of somewhere between 800 and £1,000 per month, because anything less than that, it's going to take a long time to get the data that's needed to continue to optimize the campaigns, test different ads, test different copy, make tweaks to the landing pages where you send the traffic. So that's why you need just a little bit of a runway for Google Ads to work. The next one is Google search or organic search. And that can take at least 3 to 6 months for the keywords that you're targeting to start ranking in Google. And again, it's because lots of businesses have been there for a long time. They might not be optimizing their website. So you do have an opportunity if you're investing in SEO. And that's definitely a channel that trades businesses should be investing in, local SEO. But again, it can take 3 to 6 months to start. So any changes you make to the website, any additional keywords that you're targeting and focusing on, any additional content, any optimizations on the website can take 3 to 6 months. Nobody wants to hear that, by the way. Nobody wants to hear that. but that's just the reality of what it's like when you're doing SEO. Sometimes it will work a bit quicker. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer, but essentially that's what you're looking at to start getting those keywords ranking and starts to see the benefit from the work there. And then the third channel there that's up on the screen is reviews. And reviews is another one that compounds over months and years. So the efforts that you put in today, and you might get 10, 20 reviews in your first month or two of trying to get reviews for your business. But when you get to 50 and you get to 100 and you get to 150, it really starts to compound. And what happens is a few things happen really. Firstly, Google pays more attention to your business because it will reward you for being a credible and trusted local business. So if you've got a Google business profile and you're driving reviews to it consistently, then Google will reward you for that with better placings in its map pack. But other things will start to happen as well. More and more people are now using tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot, all these AI tools to do their searching. And it's not necessarily a human now that's filtering through results in Google. You're talking about robots that are scraping websites and trying to match up what you've written in your longer prompt. And people are writing longer and longer search prompts in these AI tools. And of course, the results that it wants to give, often it's down to trust and reviews, third-party reviews on sites like Google Business, Trustpilot, and others. Is how it will sort of kind of rank those in terms of priority. And without any sort of reviews, it's unlikely you're going to get cited at all, because reviews are really, really key in this kind of new era of AI. So you're looking at doing 4 things really well every week, all year round. And what I said right at the start was, if you get these right, you can actually turn some of this stuff up and down. Certainly with Google Ads, if you're running campaigns consistently and you're getting good results, if you find yourself in a really busy period, you can just turn it down and you can just put less into Google, so to reduce the amount of traffic that your website gets. But when it gets a bit quieter, because you've had campaigns running for a considerable amount of time and it's built up a lot of data and understanding, if you do find yourself in a quiet period, you can almost immediately turn that volume back up to 10 and start getting the benefit of your very well optimized Google campaigns. So a few of those things. So Google reviews, need to be doing those every day, every week, and every month. As soon as a job gets finished and marked off, there's ways of automating this. If you want to understand how to automate it, drop me a note and I'll explain how you do it. But you can use tools like High Level to automate review requests going out to your customers. So as soon as a job is finished, an email goes out requesting a review from them. Website content, writing website content every week, especially around customer questions and customer pains and friction that customers might be going through. Write that sort of content, get somebody to write it for you. You can use a bit of AI. I wouldn't say use AI to write it entirely, but you can use AI to get some ideas on what to write about on your website. And of course, emailing existing customers with campaign emails is a very sensible thing to do. If you've got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 customers sitting in a spreadsheet, it makes sense to try and cross-sell and upsell to other products and services, especially if you're doing, as a lot of traders are doing, expanding into other areas. It might be if you're a plumbing and heating business, you've expanded into, solar or air conditioning. Make sure you're not missing out on that opportunity to cross-sell to them. So just a quick recap. So Google reviews, should be doing this every day and every week. The more reviews you get, the more trusted you are. And a few things happen. You start to appear in AI search results more. Google will reward you in their map pack, which is where you get 3 pins on a map for local businesses. They're going to start rewarding you on there. And it will also help you be able to charge higher prices and get higher margins, because not everybody is looking for the cheapest price. Some people are shopping on quality. And if you can demonstrate that you're local, trusted through your reviews, you can charge more and earn more profit on your jobs. Google Ads, if you get this right, you should be around about the £20 cost per lead. Most areas in the country can achieve that. Of course, it's going to fluctuate over time because, like I said, it is an auction, and some businesses are going to come in and out of the auction, and prices are going to go up, prices are going to go down per click, and that's going to fluctuate cost per lead. But a good Google Ads account, will take a year to really optimize, because you're not just optimizing the campaigns, you're making changes to the landing pages. But the most important thing is never entirely switch off your Google ad campaigns, because if you do, you start to lose all of that learning and all of that algorithm that's been built up, the algorithm understanding what is a good customer for you, what is a good click for your business. If you turn it off entirely, you start to lose that data. So if you do enter a busy period, you can just turn down your spend to a minimal amount just to keep the ads ticking over. But I would say never switch them off. Website content, another great opportunity. Not enough businesses are writing regular content on their website, and that's how Google discovers you, by the amount of content that you've got on there, the breadth of keywords that you're, that you're ranking for comes from the content that you write on your website. And the more information you give tools like Google and other AI tools, the more discoverable your website is going to be. But don't fall into the trap of just entirely using AI to write your content. Give it a human filter, give it your own spin on a particular topic. The best advice I can give is, if customers are asking you questions on site, start to note those down, write them in your notes app on your phone, or just email them to yourself. But they're the questions that customers are concerned about. They're the things that customers do when they're researching businesses. And if you write content that answers those questions, you've got a much better chance of appearing in Google and these AI tools. And then the final one, you don't need to spend a lot of money on acquiring new customers when you've already got a solid database of people that already trust your business. You've done work for them. So why not set up a free MailChimp account and import your customers into there, and then set up a little regular monthly email that goes out to them, cross-selling or upselling other products and services that your business does. So if you offer a service plan, for example, an opportunity to upsell to that. If you offer, solar or air conditioning or other services like power flushing, if you're a plumbing and heating business, make sure that you don't miss out on the opportunity to email them on a regular basis, because that's where a lot of your future revenue and profit is going to come from. It's expensive to acquire new customers. It takes time, it takes effort. But one of the biggest opportunities that you've got in your business is to sell to your existing audience. And that's it's hard to get started, but it's much easier once you're started to keep that wheel spinning. But it's also, at times, it's easy to stop it, especially when you're busy and you're in your busy season, and you don't think you need to be doing any marketing. But in reality, that's exactly when you need to start, is when you're busy, because the quiet times will come. So I hope that's been of use. I hope that's given you an insight into why it's important to do some sort of regular marketing activity, because you never know when it's going to go quiet. Word of mouth is obviously a brilliant channel for trades businesses, but it's hard to scale your business on word of mouth. And the businesses that we want to talk to, the businesses that we want to work with, are the ones that want to scale and grow their business as an asset. And it's difficult to do that on word of mouth alone. Not impossible, but difficult, especially if you're in a highly competitive area of the country. So stop waiting for things to go quiet. Start building now. Start getting booked solid. We do offer a free growth audit. So if you go on our website, wearesmc.co.uk, you can book a free growth audit, and we'll have a look at your website. We'll have a look at your online presence. We'll record just a 5-minute video explaining what you need to do and how you can improve. It's totally free. There's no obligation to use us, but it will give you an insight into how you can improve and how you can grow and scale. So hopefully that was useful. I look forward to joining you next week for another edition of Build to Scale. Enjoy the rest of your day.